Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Kyle with KBG Welding. We got torch cutting going today, so we're gonna do a little run through on torch cutting. We got our flametech torch, flametech hose, and basically starting a torch. So on this model of torch, we only have the fuel, which is oxygen, and the fuel, which is acetylene, and the oxygen options. So we don't have the third options on the smaller torches. So this one, what we're going to do is we're going to turn our fuel on, which is our acetylene, to ignite the torch, get a flame going, and we'll kick our acetylene up, get our fuel. Now what we want to do, if you notice the difference. You got the blue flame, and then it gets orange, yellow, and as I add acetylene, there's separation. See that separation from the torch? Now it goes from one, so now that's too much acetylene. So if I drop that down, I want to have consistent but a solid flame, right? The blue, there's no separation there, so that's where you want to keep it. You can go a little bit more, but that's about it there. Now we add our oxygen. We turn to our oxygen. We add our oxygen, do it slow, and we start seeing separation. You can see the cones, the blue cones, blue or whitish cones, and keep adding, and that's about where we want it. Somewhere in that range. You'll do all right if you have a little bit less. You'll do all right if you have a little bit more. That sounds like plenty of oxygen coming through to give us enough heat and enough fuel to do the cut. So we have a piece of 1/4-inch plate here that we're just gonna cut. We have to make a bracket out of. So we got our line. When we start, this torch will heat up itself. Let me get on the other side. The torch will heat the plate itself. So we're gonna go through the line. Once it gets orange, that's ready to go. We're just heating it. Now we hit the acetylene on our trigger here, our oxygen trigger that accelerates our oxygen. Once it gets glowing, now it's ready to cut. We hit our oxygen and we start cutting. Get a little separation between the torch and where you're cutting, so it's a clear path. So it's starting to catch and clean up a little bit. It's starting to catch on the back side there. So watch, come on this side. So what we want to do when you have thinner material like that, so if you see that there, we have a lot of it heats up, but then it gathers the molten metal gathers back together and kind of seals it again. So what we want to do to prevent that, and that usually happens when you have thinner gauge material, is we want to kick our angle away. So instead of going straight down, we're kicking it out now. And since there's a lot of slag in there now, it won't do a clean cut. So we'll come down here and try it. But we'll shoot our slag out as opposed to down. We'll get a little tilt. We'll tilt your torch head. Shoot it out. There. That's how we do that. We have our base. We have our base that we'll go ahead and do. This is 3/8 inch. And it's got a lot of rust on it, so it might do a lot of popping whenever you have a rust. If you clean it up first, that works out a little better. But this is a thicker plate, 3/8 thick plate, so we should get a clean cut, free cut. But you might get a little kickback and popping because of all that oxidation. But you heat it up the same. Get your acetylene once it melting point. Or your oxygen, I'm sorry. And then your travel speed, your heat and the cut determine your travel speed on this. If it's cutting, you don't want to go too fast because then it will stop. The metal won't be heated enough. And it just won't cut, so you'll have to stop anyway. So you might as well just go slow as it allows. And you get that, and it'll fall off. There you go. So we turn off your acetylene. Oxygen doesn't really matter. And then I have the quick connects. I'll let those go in case there's any leaks going on. That's how we do it. So we got it cut. You can check it out. Not a bad cut, not a icy weld cut, but it's a good cut, clean cut. So that's just a little torch intro, KBG Welding, serving God burning rocks.